Good morning, St. Francis. Merry Christmas and Happy Civil New Year. It is January the 1st, 2021, the octave day of Christmas, the 8th day of Christmas, and more importantly, the solemnity of Mary, the Mother of God. We moved from 2020 to 2021 last night, and really, in some ways, perhaps nothing much looks like it has changed. It is still the same world. It is still the same us who live within it. And yet all last night, there were all kinds of commentary that went out that was going on about how terrible and awful 2020 was, and how it was good to forget it and leave it behind, and it was an annus horribilis, a horrible year, and looking forward to 2021 becoming an annus mirabilis, a miraculous year, a wondrous year. And truly, 2020 had many, many things in it that were troubling and that were difficult and that were sad and that were anxious. But is that all that 2020 was? And to kind of brush it aside and pretend it didn't exist, what does that actually rob us of as we move into 2021? Because we have to remember always that these years and the way we keep time is of our own creation, is a human creation. For our Jewish brothers and sisters, it is the year 5781, and that is something even more to consider. And yet, our life goes on. Our life goes on always. Our life goes on always because of this child born for us in this holy season. And this is why we focus upon Mary and her role, not only in saying yes to God, but in trusting that God knew what God was doing and asking her to be a part of it. And what that even says then about our humanity, that God needs us to become a part of this great work that God is constantly doing within this creation that is of God's own origin. Again, we celebrate Mary today and hear in the gospel how the shepherds went in haste to see Mary and Jesus and Joseph in the stable and at the command of the angels. And they go forth proclaiming this good news. But what is even more important today to focus upon Mary is that all of this that is happening to her, she is pondering in her heart. She is not just taking it for granted. She is not just brushing it aside. She is not forgetting everything that has happened and perhaps now even pondering more what will happen because of this child's birth. What will it mean? Not just for her and Joseph and her immediate family, but perhaps even more, what does it mean for humanity, for human life, for human destiny, for our future as human beings? To brush aside 2020 as just a year we'd rather forget robs us of both the challenges and the hopes, the goodness that resided in this 1 year, and in this 1 year alone. Because if we rob ourselves of that, then we rob ourselves perhaps of the wisdom and the understanding and the transformation that having had such a year as 2020 may work upon us to become even more powerful believers, even more profound believers in a God who cares for us. What we are asked to ponder perhaps today is hope. Hope that renews, a hope that endures, a hope that transforms, again with the birth of this child. That is what our world needs to hear and understand, that there is always hope. And so this season, both Advent and Christmas, ties together past, future, and present to show us always that we as human beings have a destiny and that we must be always people of hope as one of the major characteristics that makes us believers in this world. We must always be people who are ready to give answer and reason for the hope that we possess. And the trials and the victories, the struggles and the achievements of our human life give us the words and the wisdom to be able to give answer for the hope that we possess. May we live up always to this calling to give this world what it needs, a hope that transforms, a hope that endures, a hope that allows us to see the great work of God in our midst. May the Lord give you peace.